Hi, I'm theciaellis, and welcome to Grandma's Homestead. I'm trying to wait for my lens to not be fogged over because it was in the air conditioning and it's pretty warm and humid out here. Alright, I know, I look rough, but I'm okay with that because I want to show you a victory that I've had this morning and give you a little bit of background on it. This place has been way overgrown, and I have tried to, I'm not sure how I want to phrase this. I have tried to make it where it's not all my fault. My husband knows that I'm allergic to weeds, and mowing really is a difficult thing for me, and you know, just all that stuff. But you know what? I kind of come to an understanding that, you know what, if I want it to happen, it's got to happen to me. I'm the one that's going to have to make it happen. Every once in a while, I have to remind myself of that. And so this morning, I decided I needed to do some specific mowing. And I've literally spent an hour doing this. Let me show you. Tom in the past has mowed some paths, but even those have become overgrown. And some of this stuff is so tall. Like this stuff right here, it comes up at least to my shoulders. And that Johnson grass, I wouldn't even want to lie to you and tell you how tall it is. But in the distance, you can see, hopefully you can see, in the distance you can see the mobile egg unit. And look how tall the grass is around it. And when I was trying to catch those ducks the other day, I kept tripping over really big weeds, and it was very painful for my knee. So today, I decided to pull up the garden hose, because it hasn't been pulled out. That's the reason for the paths. Like, if you figure out where the garden hose is, you can mow around it, and you don't have to mow there, and you don't have to worry about repairing your garden hose. I want this mowed properly, and I'm not going to be able to do this on one round, but, you know, I've decided that if I want this place to look the way I want it, I'm going to have to do it. But so I started pulling up garden hose, and it took me right at an hour. Right at an hour it took me. I don't know how to get here where you can see me. So I got it up. I almost quit a bunch of times. I'm exhausted. Right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been at this an hour. It says it's 87 degrees, but it feels like 102. And I will attest to that. I just had a drink of water. I'm going to go back and get some more before I start mowing. But I've decided, if I'm going to have this place look like the way I want it to do, I'm going to have to do the work. So I need to get my butt in gear. But I want to show you all the garden hose I pulled up. Some of it has been pieced together, but that's about 300 feet of garden hose that I was able to pull up. And it was tangled. Here's one of the clumps where it's all tangled up with stuff, and it just came with it. So I was on my hands and knees crawling around trying to find roots, trying to find where it all connected, or not connected, but where I had to pull off. The finer grass, well, you can't see it from here, was really tangled, like this stuff right here, that was really tangled. And then you get the bigger stemmy stuff, and it was underneath some of the stemmy stuff that had fallen over. So it was actually a real challenge. I got back up in here on the porch in the shade. Okay, so it was a challenge. That was a significant physical challenge. Oh, Beethoven is... My dogs hate flies. They're just a trip to watch them. I mean, like, Beethoven gets an evil look on his face and he goes after flies. I digress real bad. So getting up that garden hose was a real physical challenge. I had to struggle, not just physically, but mentally to keep at it. The tangles were real bad, and I was getting tired, and I would say, you know, if you want it done, you got to get it done, and you can't expect anybody else to do it. So the physical challenge was definitely there, but it was also a mental challenge that I'm really happy that I was able to overcome. I'm still got to get out there and get some mowing done. I'm not going to be able to finish before it gets too hot. I think it's only supposed to get to like 97 today, but the heat index is supposed to get back up to like 118, something like that. We've had some wicked heat indexes, and we've actually had a couple of athletes go down here. We had a little junior high catcher go down with heat stroke at one of our games that was on the other team She played for the other team, but she went down and left in an ambulance. And then the very next day, I'd heard another girl out in another town nearby us had gone down with the same thing. Both girls, thank God, are okay. So the one that was here, she was teetering real bad. I discovered later she was on the verge of complete shutdown of her system and foaming at the mouth and going into cardiac arrest and stuff like that. But she's home from the hospital and doing good. Okay, I don't know what my deal is, but I think this victory today, combined with all the stuff that's been going on, because you know what, you do get discouraged if you think about it. Okay, another little victory. This is a victory of my pigs are finally staying in the fence. And that was really a struggle, especially like when I was in Florida and Tom was having to try and figure out how to keep the pigs in the fence. But you know what? I put the effort in and worked at it and worked at it and worked at it until I found out what it was going to take to keep the pigs in. I worked on this garden hose and worked at it and worked at it and worked at it until I was able to get it up, and now I can mow. Now I've got to work and figure out how I'm going to get some tires for this mower, but I'll get that too. I went down a path that I did not want to go down because there is a lot. I get overwhelmed. I've been feeling my age lately. I've been feeling my age big time. I've had some feed issues, and finally went to the doctor for it, and they told me, your feed issues have been pretty significant, and the only thing is it's an Achilles tendon issue, and it has bothered me for long enough, and the back of my heel is swollen big enough that it's actually caused me to walk improperly, and my whole left leg would start, early in the day it's just the knee. By the end of the day, the whole leg is swollen, and I'm feeling my age and struggling with it. So this whole thing with the garden hose, I know it sounds silly, but you know what? I won. I put my mind to it. I put my arms to it. I put my whole body to it, and I got that garden hose up, and I'm going to be able to mow properly and make it. I think that gave me the encouragement I needed to start really working on actually making this place look like it's supposed to look. I do get overwhelmed. I've got all these appliances, and I think that's probably what I get stopped on is like, the first thing I do is got to get rid of all these appliances that are stuck there. Well, I haven't figured out how to get that done yet, and I haven't been thinking past that. Well, it's time for me to start thinking my way of thinking, or changing the way I'm thinking and figuring it out. So I don't know if I have any more for it today, but I wanted to share this with you because I understand as we age, you start thinking, how important is this? Can I get this done? What's going to happen? And then sometimes even when you get old, you just got to put your mind to it and get it done. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful I got it done. But you know what? The sun's getting higher. I got to get to mowing. All right. I got the mowing done. I got cleaned up. I didn't get all the mowing done. I got a bunch done though, but I may never get all the mowing done, but that's okay. At least I got something done. And if you hear something, it's my cat is trying to be part of the plan here. This is the one that I'm still looking for a home for because I really don't want him, but he wants me, and apparently he's winning the battle of that one. Okay, I do feel better about it. What I forgot to tell you too is part of what helped me. Those of you who follow me at all, you know that when I am working and doing stuff, I listen to podcasts and sometimes audiobooks. And since it was early in the day, I was listening to. I think it's called The 10X Solution by Grant Cardone. And if you know anything about Grant Cardone, he is an in-your-face, you got to get up and do it, or you're not worth the time and effort or whatever. Not like that bad, but he's pretty into it. And so it was funny because when I was struggling so hard to get that garden hose untangled from all the grass, he's in my ear going, if you can't get it done, what's it worth to you? I'm going, so I'm like literally exhausted and I'm wanting to quit. And he's going, you gotta up your game. You gotta get out there and get it done. I'm going, all right, I'm going to get it done. I don't think I was out loud doing it. I may have done it once or twice, yelled in frustration, saying, all right, I'm getting it done. I hope not. I'm sure. It's a good thing I'm out here on 40 acres by myself. Because anybody nearby probably would think, what the heck is that crazy lady doing? But that's okay. Before I sign off, I want to tell you a little bit about Streamyard. This is a company that I've been working with. Well, I've been working with them. I use Streamyard. A lot of people use Streamyard for when they're doing podcasts. They want to put it on video and stuff, and that's kind of what I do. I do that for my This Grandma's Life podcast. It's kind of cool, though, because most of them do live, and I don't do live. I've tried it. I'm not very good at it, but I can record it. And it's really cool because when I first started doing podcasts and stuff, I was doing video, and then somebody said, well, you got to strip the sound and all that other stuff. StreamYard doesn't do that. I guess I could do, it'll record both audio and video for me, and I can just pick out which one I want, but send it to the direction I want. And I'm able to do it where people can listen to my podcast through iTunes or Stitcher or Fountain or something like that. Oh, and let me talk about Fountain stuff too. A lot of you listen to Fountain, and that's it's kind of like iTunes, except it's a different platform. And people have told, I've had one of my followers tell me to claim my my podcast on there, and I've tried. For some reason, they don't like my email address, and I haven't figured out how to claim it otherwise. But it's cool. So I can, on StreamYard, I'm going to go back to StreamYard now and tell you that I can record both audio and video, and I tell you guys this stuff because I'll be perfectly honest. If anybody can figure out how to do this stuff, well, let me rephrase that. If I can figure out how to do some of the stuff, you can too. If you have a story in you, if you have something you want to tell people, if you want to do something, do a podcast, do a YouTube channel. Nobody has to know where you are or what you're doing or anything like that, but it's really a cool, creative way of doing that. So StreamYard is also one of those where you can record what you're doing and get it out there. And if you go through StreamYard, go through my link below. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Just go down there, and it's easy enough to use, thank God, because really it is harder to learn when you get older. All right, guys, I've had a good, productive day. I'm tired, though, and paying for inhaling a whole bunch of grass. I'm going to go hit my inhaler, and but you know what? I still feel victorious. All right, guys, live until you die. Maybe not this kind of work, maybe not anything that I'm doing at all, but you can do you and get it done. God bless, guys. I'll see you next time.